Hi, I'm glad you're here. This is the audio version of the book Peak, a resource for recovery, authored by Faye Anam Avis. Chapter 10, Expanding Your Perspective. According to Pew Research, parents spend a total of about 22 hours a week on childcare, about 1,100 hours a year, or roughly 20,000 hours over an 18-year lifespan, or about 10,000 hours per parent. That's a lot of time. What happens when we do anything for 10,000 hours? In his book Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell argued that it takes about 10,000 hours of practice to become an expert at just about anything. So the typical parent could have instead become an expert at early American history, a crack fighter pilot, or a rock guitar player. At retirement, a person would be able to look back on these accomplishments as a source of pride. Contrast this with the experience of estranged parents who make a similar investment, only to find that it seemingly evaporates into thin air. It is not like a guitar you can always pull out and play a riff from Stairway to Heaven. There is nothing but silence, except for the nagging question, what did it all mean? What happens to the human brain when we do something for 20,000 hours? Hawaii native Craig Smallwood is suing NC Soft South Korea, claiming that the developer of the game Lineage should pay an unspecified amount of money due to the addictive nature of the game. The suit states that Smallwood played the game between 2004 and 2009 for 20,000 hours, but would not have played it if he were aware of the addictive nature of the game. He claims that it is so addictive that for 5 years he apparently lost all measure of self-control and became, quote, unable to function independently in usual daily activities such as getting up, getting dressed, bathing, or communicating with family and friends, end quote. When the brain focuses on a particular activity for long periods of time, it actually rewires to define reality through the lens of that activity. It loses its ability to function in a larger reality or even to feel that a different reality is possible. Fleas confined to a jar for a number of days will not escape when the lid is removed. Fish in an aquarium divided in half by a clear piece of glass will continue to turn at that point and swim back even when the glass is removed. A sustained focus on a small part of the universe traps us in that universe and makes other universes invisible. Craig Smallwood became an expert in the universe of the game Lineage, but lost his ability to function in other arenas. So too, parents can become so focused on the universe of parenting that it defines who they are. 57% of parents say that parenting is extremely important to their identity. This is necessary for a season of life. However, for those who cannot move beyond their identity as a parent, it is difficult for them to conceive emotionally of an identity that goes beyond that. Therefore, when estranged parents are asked to think about what they have accomplished in life, it is natural for their minds to gravitate to what they perceive as a failed parenting experience. This can dominate their perspective so that they are unable to see any other significant achievements without help. In 2006, a researcher named David Haber published a paper on the positive effects of what he calls a life review. He defines a life review as the recall of memories typically structured around one or more life themes. This review not only includes family themes, ranging from one's own childhood to the experience of being a parent to being a grandparent, but also work themes from first job to major life's work to retirement to major turning points. In addition, other themes include impact of major historical events, role of education, health, holidays, music, literature, or art in one's life, experiences with aging, dying, and death, and meaning, values, and purpose. In other words, it expands a person's mind from a focus on parenting to a more comprehensive review of life. The positive impact of such a review in older adults is remarkable, including, bullet, the emergence of a healthy unifying philosophy and the wisdom learned from experience, no matter how dearly the price paid for. Bullet, an increase in life satisfaction, with the individual feeling more vital, balanced, and whole in relation to the self and the world. Bullet, a significant reduction in depression without the use of expensive medications and their side effects. Bullet, an increase in the sense of control over their life story, even as other factors may be decreasing their control. Parenthesis, lack of independence, medical issues, and living situation. Close parentheses. There are a number of other advantages to a life review. A life review is a more appealing and less threatening activity than most counseling interventions because it invites older adults to discuss their past and to uncover positive life experiences and inner strengths. It requires few resources and modest training. It can be done by oneself, but more often it is guided by a partner or by a facilitator as part of a group experience. Group sessions add the benefit of helping older adults establish new peer relationships that are critical to the recovery from the trauma of parental estrangement. For a life review to have substantial impact on the participant's mental health, it should involve a sufficient investment in time, 6 weeks or longer, scope, birth to present, and intimacy, listening by other. The ideal length of a single interview session is unknown, but sessions often last between 1 and 2 hours, unless physical frailty requires a shorter time period. A full listing of the questions in a typical life review are found in Appendix A, but here are a few of the summary questions. 1. On the whole, what kind of life do you think you've had? 2. If everything were to be the same, would you like to live your life over again? 3. If you were going to live your life over again, what would you change? Leave unchanged? 4. We've been talking about your life for quite some time now. Let's discuss your overall feelings and ideas about your life. What would you say the main satisfactions in your life have been? Try for 3. Why were they satisfying? 5. Everyone has had disappointments. What have been the main disappointments in your life? 6. What was the hardest thing you had to face in your life? Please describe it. 7. What was the happiest period of your life? What about it made it the happiest period? Why is your life less happy now? 8. What was the unhappiest period of your life? Why is your life happier now? 9. What was the proudest moment in your life? 10. If you could stay the same age all your life, what age would you choose? Why? A life review is one way of accomplishing a profound and necessary expansion in one's perspective, the movement from an understanding of life as accomplishing a set of rule-based, narrowly defined tribal tasks to participation in a grand cosmic order full of paradox and mystery. There are other experiences and spiritual practices that can accompany this expansion, including meditation, contemplative prayer, spiritual readings, artistic expressions such as painting and poetry, near-death experiences, pilgrimages, and transformative mission experiences. Anything that expands the mind beyond the years of habit-driven mental ruts can be healing for the trauma of estrangement. Parental estrangement can ultimately be a gift if it helps us take this critical step in our spiritual journey. Again, this does not simply happen by the reading of a single book, but by the integration of a new way of thinking about the significance of your life. There is a sense in which your life is the accumulation of all your decisions, right, wrong, and in between, combined with the impact on your life of all the decisions made by others. In another sense, your life has been exactly as it had to be in order for the universe to evolve toward the expressions of love and justice carried in the heart of our spiritual source. Here again is an affirmation that you might find helpful to weave into your thinking. I am a child of God. My life has unfolded in precisely the ways that were necessary for the universe to evolve more fully into love and justice. The ripples of goodness from my life are unseeable, and the greater purposes of my mistakes are unknowable. Some of my life accomplishments have arisen from my conscious contributions to the good of others. Some of my life accomplishments have arisen from simply surviving great hardships that I might continue to bear witness to the strength of divine endurance wrapped about by my human body. For whatever wisdom I have acquired, and at whatever price, it has all been worth it. Questions for reflection and discussion. How do you think your substantial investment of time in parenting has impacted the way you view your life? Has there ever been a time when you became aware of a part of yourself that you did not know existed? What did you discover? What brought it to your consciousness? From what you know about life review, does it seem like something that would be helpful? Why or why not? What new thought do you now need to weave into your thinking as you recover from the trauma of parental estrangement? Based on this chapter, if someone says to you, family is the most important part of anyone's life, how would you respond? If you are using this book in a discussion group, what did you gain from hearing others speak or from speaking? This is the end of chapter 10. Thank you for joining us again as we move through this book. If you feel like this is helpful to you and may be helpful to other people, please feel free to share the link so that others can benefit as well. Another way that you can help is to click the icon below the video that is thumbs up for like. And then next to that, you could subscribe. And when you subscribe, a little bell icon will pop up, and you can click the bell icon and it will tell you when a new video has been uploaded so that you can access it quickly. Thank you so much. Also, if you feel like you'd like to comment below this in the space below, please feel free to do so. Share your thoughts, your questions, whatever you'd like, and we will get back to you.